We're so glad you're here with us this beautiful Sunday morning, and we'd like you to join us on our first sing-along song, which is called Holy, Holy Way.
All right.
And we have the words over here on this wall, or if you can't see them, they're also printed in your program, and this is a call and response. So Wade will be calling, and you will be responding with Kimberly. And
Have a call.
here we go.
Let me go, let me go, that love is all around.
see so many people here. I'm Bruce Fredenberg. I'm one of your staff ministers. My ministry is the Science of Mind and Mental Health. And I know you had a lot of choices as to the places you could be today and things you could be doing. I'm certain there are some reruns that you haven't seen in a while that you could be home refreshing your memory on I Love Lucy. You could be out in the golf course, Grant, meditating out there, but instead you've chosen to come here. And so it's really a delight to see everybody. And if you have been here before, you know what we do. But if you haven't, we are a transcendental center. And what that means is, number one, everybody's welcome. Number two, we teach spiritual principles. And if you learn to use these principles, you can actually change the conditions of your life. And so what that means is, if things are going well, they can always go better. And if things aren't going as well as you want, well, why would you want to settle for that one more second? Because you can improve that. And so, as one of our teachers used to say, Dr. Barker, what you really need is a bigger idea. And so, hopefully, that's what you learned here today. And we're going to start the way we start well, not everything, but we start our service with a reading of the Flames of Faith. And lighting the flames of faith is a call to service. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Jill Burnett lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And now I invite you to join me in an affirmative prayer. So as I go into my interior mind, I relax. I relax as I allow myself to recognize the truth. And the truth is simply this, that behind it all, despite all appearances, there is only one. There is God plus nothing else, only God. And so this one power, this one mind, is all the wisdom there is. It's all the intelligence there is. It's inexhaustible, limitless power. It is infinite capacity for beauty, for appreciation, for gratitude, for satisfaction. It's unlimited prosperity of every good thing. It is infinite joy. It is all the love there is. So each of us is a divine idea in mind. Each of us is spirit, idea of itself extended into this realm of time and space that it created so that it could experience the richness of learning in physical form. And so each of us is individually and collectively a divine idea for expressing more truth, more love, more joy, more harmony, more peace, more delight of every good thing. And so I claim that each person here today is hearing in this message today, experiencing in this service, whether it's in person or through any other medium, that each person is finding exactly what they're seeking here today that removes the last barrier to agreeing to live the life of our dreams. So I also claim that any healing that needs to take place in any person, anywhere, for this good to be accepted unconditionally with no prerequisites, no yes buts, just simply I agree to accept it, I give thanks for it, and I release it into these perfect laws that act with absolute precision and can be absolutely counted on. So I release it, I let it be, and together we say, and so it is. And now Marlene Kuckler, practitioner, is going to read our affirmation.
Good morning. Good morning. So we are going to say the Declaration of Principles together. I believe in God, one creative intelligence, operating through the universe and operating throughout my entire being, now and always. I believe this perfect spirit operates upon the law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief. I believe this perfect creative intelligence can be used by me and by every other person to produce health, abundance, and love in mind, body, and total life experience. I use it now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is. And our affirmation for today, we're going to say together, I am a perfect expression of the divine, and so it is. You are.
Thank you, Marlene. That's perfect. Short and sweet and to the point. And please welcome our singer this morning, Melissa Suzanne.
You're going to recognize this song, so feel free to sing along with us. Got love
much, Melissa.
No, keep lifting me higher. Thank you, Melissa. My message this morning is let us not fool ourselves, or let's not fool ourselves. And it is, it's based on an essay in the book, Living the Science of Mind. And I want to read to you the first paragraph of this essay, because this is what Ernest Holmes is talking about. He says, in the science of mind, we do not say everything is all right when it is all wrong. We do not say peace when there is no peace, but rather we try to discover what is wrong and why we do not have peace. We do not say that people are not poor, sick, or unhappy. We ask why these things should be if the original cause of things is harmonious, perfect, radiant, and happy. We ask why these things should be this way because the original cause of all things is harmonious, perfect, radiant, and happy. So what we're looking at then is on the relative plane, the world that we see, the effects and the experiences in the relative world. And Ernest is saying, we don't need to fool ourselves. But later on in the Science of Mind textbook, he says, if you as a practitioner go into a hospital room and you see a sick person, leave. He says, go. Do not stay there if you're seeing a sick person. So now, here's the whole thing. The message this morning is reconciling that seeming paradox between we do not say that everything is all right when it is all wrong, and if you see a sick person in a hospital room, leave. Sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? But what Ernest is saying, we as practitioners of the science of mind, whether we're licensed practitioners or not, are called to look past the appearances to the spiritual truth underneath it all, to the truth of life, which is harmonious and well and good and right, which is divine mind in expression. Divine mind in expression. Well, I have lots of cause to celebrate this week because on Wednesday, I'm going to be sworn in as a U.S. citizen. I'm very excited about it. I've been at this. I thought I applied 2.5 years ago, but they didn't get my application, so I had to apply again. That's so cool. But everything was perfect. When I went for my test, you know I'm a former, I wouldn't say geek, no, I'm not like Wade. I'm not like smart like that. I'm not, but I was someone that loved school, and I loved to get good marks.
Well, I did.
I think so, and I think Kimberly would too. But here's the difference. So I got in there, and you have to study for this test, and my study partner had already informed me I'm only going to get 10 questions, and they're all asterisks, and they're pretty easy questions, so you'll get it. He asked me the questions, I knew them. So I get into the officer is asking me questions, and she says, first thing she says is, you only need to get 6 right, and then you've passed. So she did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got them all right. She stopped. She said, you passed. I thought, but you don't understand, it's me. I want to get 10 out of 10. I want to be able to go to my community and say, I got 100%. Well, I did get 100%, but they only asked me 6. So 6 out of 6 will have to do, because I wasn't going to stand there and argue with someone that had the power to either say yes or no to my citizenship.
And she told me that it was going to be several weeks before I got the invitation letter, and then it was going to be another couple of weeks before I actually was sworn in. So I thought, oh good, everything's fine. I've got, my nephew is having a 25th wedding anniversary, and I was there at the wedding 25 years ago. It was the last official thing I did in Canada, and before coming here into the United States. So yes, I'm going to your wedding anniversary. And I was supposed to leave on Wednesday. And I'm very excited about it, and it's a little surreal. It will make my travel much, much simpler, not to be always having to prove where I live, and here's my resident alien card, here's where I work, et cetera, et cetera. So here, the facts are, I am still a Canadian citizen until, I'm a Canadian citizen who has passed her test until Wednesday, when I surrender my green card and get sworn in. So I've got these few days to walk and consciously walk about who I am, what I'm doing here, and how I can be of service. Yesterday, our wonderful Hans Smith, who's a practitioner here and who's been part of my life since he came to this center 15 years ago or so, his dad's memorial service was in Redondo Beach, because that was where he went. And I'm pretty sure Noble went there because Hans said, you should go to my church, and there is a church in Redondo like us. And so he did, and he loved it, and he was well loved there. It was an amazing, amazing service. Reverend Karen and Rick, of course, Allendale, provided the music, or most of the music, and it was so honoring of a man who lived a life that was before it was time for them to legally drive and on mountain roads. So, I mean, this was a man who lived full out, and any of us who knew what a wonderful guy he was. Just the sweetest guy. Anyway, I was sitting at home after my aerobics class at 8 o'clock yesterday morning, and I thought, do I want to go to Redondo Beach by myself and face the traffic? And because I've talked about that traffic by myself before, and oftentimes it's taken me 3 or 4 hours to get back, or 3 or 4 hours to go, because it seems like, I thought, okay, practitioner, heal yourself. What are you doing? You're setting up obstacles in advance where there are none. So I quickly had a shower. I quickly did my spiritual work